So after you've come up Malham Cove, you get to the car park at where are we? Watersinks car park, which is near to Malham Tarn, and in fact we're just a quarter of a mile away, and we're still on the Pennine Way, as we the checkpoint will be at this car park, and we leave on the Pennine Way to go round to the activity centre around Malham Tarn, but we're not actually going to go all the way there because we then break off and go over to Arncliffe. Today we're accompanied by lots of cows, and on my way here earlier I saw some bulls, but they weren't actually on the course itself. They were over towards Kilnsey. I've come up from Kilnsey to do this section over to Kettlewell. Morning. There we go. They're all friendly, aren't you? Hey? All friendly. Some lovely views up here, and we'll soon be seeing Yeadon. Sorry, not Yeadon. We'll soon be seeing Malham Tarn for the first time. Shows you where I live near. Right, let's have a little jog along here. In fact, I don't know how good this camera is, but over in the distance we'll get our first view of Malham Tarn Activity Centre, where that's on the Pennine Way, and that's where a lot of activities, young people's activities, take place at Malham Tarn. And we're just about to see, we're just going over this little rise, and there in fact is Malham Tarn. Malham Tarn's the source of the River Aire, which is the river that goes down into the centre of Leeds, down near the train station. We used to do an ultra marathon starting from there, coming up to Malham Tarn, and it was amazing. Sadly, with it being a linear route, we didn't quite get enough to make it justifiable in the long term. We did it during COVID and it worked very well. And for the people, hello, good morning, and the people that came up this way, the first sight of Malham Cove and the bit at the top as you come over towards the car park, they're just blown away because it looks like something from another world. It really is amazing, some of the scenery around here with all the limestone that you see, and looks like we've got some road repairs. Right, well, I'll leave the filming here and get round them. In fact, those repairs are taking place at the exact start of the River Aire, and there's a diver there going down, and I'm assuming he's clearing stuff out from down below. But as we look out across Malham Tarn, beautiful day for it today. Just be a bit wary if you're coming across here at night, because there's an awful lot of gnats and nasty bitey things, mozzies and things like that. So none of them today. Some really glorious weather. Sun's just popped behind the clouds at the moment because I'm going on the flat, but as I was coming up hill towards here, of course, as always for me, the sun came out and it was quite challenging. Right, so as we come round to the side of the tarn, we see some wonderful limescale cliffs ahead, and we're about to enter the well, come across the road which leads into the Malham Tarn leisure park and the activity centre, and there's a gate leading in there, and we'll just run across to that gate. Being the idiot I am today, I'm using this GoPro for the second time, and I've gone and left the one of the security catches at home, so I've managed to find a bit of plastic to wedge in, but it means I can't carry it properly, so I don't know what this is going to come out like. Managed to find a cable tie lying around in the car park, so don't ask how I've done it, but it seems to be holding up. So this is a Malham Tarn estate we're just going into now. Oh, there we go. Nice little tractor run down. Interesting feature of the estate is there's several trees which have had walls built around them. Not entirely sure why, but it's just a bit of practice dry stone walling, or to protect the trees from being eaten by wildlife. But there's quite a few of them around the place, and as we look over towards the tarn, as we're coming back round to it, those trees there, there's another gate there, but we're not going through that gate towards the estate house. We're actually climbing up over to the right and out of the Malham area and over to Arncliffe. Just as we go around this path, I've noticed there's some lovely wildflowers. There's a bit of a wildflower meadow going on here, which is great for the environment. Some lovely little flowers, if you can see them, some purples, yellows and whites, as we look across to the tarn and the boathouse. Another of those walled trees, a new one just been planted, and there still seems to be quite a lot of water at Malham Tarn. Driving here as well, I went past Chelker Reservoir, which was full. A lot of the other reservoirs are very, very nearly empty around Yorkshire, but there is still some water around. I don't know whether this can ever be used as drinking water, but I suppose in an emergency we've still got some around. Heard today that yesterday that Yorkshire Water have got permission to use the River Wharfe. I'm not sure I particularly want to drink from the River Wharfe because it's not got the cleanest of health records in certain places, and I think there's better options, but what do I know? Now here's your answer. Volunteers with traditional dry stone walling skills are helping rebuild some of the protective tree grounds originally built in the Victorian era. It's hard for trees to establish here. Wind and nibbling sheep and deer can stop them growing. There you go, so that's what they're for. And just up ahead here, I'm hoping we'll find the footpath. It's interesting because OS has tried to turn me off already to go up the hill, but the actual OS map, as opposed to the OS snap to route, tells me that I should be going up just about here, just before the gates, and I think I can see a track going up there, so let's follow that up. I've never been up here before, but I am told it exists from a friend of mine who used to actually be the centre manager at Malham Tarn, and he used to tell me he used to regularly run across here to Arncliffe, so hopefully this is the right route. If not, I'll re-record this, but I'm pretty sure this is. So I'll have to redo my GPX, which took me off slightly before, but again, that's why we recce the routes. Yes, we're going the right way, so all good. As we look back over Malham Tarn, path we came along to get here, and it's getting a little bit windy here because we're getting a bit more exposed. But this is the track up the hill, and you can see, oh, there's a fence at the top, but it goes just between the sort of two little raised bits to either side, so it goes through the middle of them. And as we top that little rise, we're into the type of territory that I love the most. Really remote, nothing around at all, apart from a little tarn behind, but that'll soon be outside as we drop down a bit. Nice and quiet, nobody else around, just me and the beautiful scenery. And that's what these adventures are all about. Beautiful. Now, how would you like to live there? Completely out in the wild. Some lovely limestone scenery behind you, and no other neighbours for miles. Just got those telegraph poles connecting it to the outside world, and that's about it. So as we're approaching that farm, just come to the end of that field that we've just run through, and there's a stile here with sprint protection from the barbed wire. Oh, my knees. There we go. That's got over them. Looking back, we just come down there on the path and we're following that path. So as we come around that path, it's got a little bit wider and it's like a little ridge, and as we look back we can see all the sheep disappearing off to the farm as we come up to a gate in the wall which we're about to go through. And just through the gate, a bit of a change of landscape. It's very rocky, lots of limestone, and I think that's probably going to be the order of the day for the next little bit, but we'll see. Alright, off we go up that path. Carrying on, that path brings us round, still completely in the wilderness. Actually there's an old ruin there, but apart from that we're in the wilderness, and there's been some lovely scenery coming along, some of which I've captured, and nice little rocky path. Yeah, I wonder who used to live there, but it's all derelict now. Right out in the middle of nowhere. You see some interesting sights, just to have a quick look around. Perfect trails. And just as we get to the end of this building, I think we'll be able to see some more limestone escarpments on the right hand side. There we go. A single tree, and some more beautiful scenery. Alright, we'll carry along on this path. So we're coming up to a split in the path, and if we get to it, it should tell us what we need to know. So left is public footpath to Darnbrook, 1.5, we don't want to do that, and we want to go Arncliffe, 2 3/4 mile. So we bear right at that fork and carry on with the wall to the right, to that wall corner, and keep on this path. And this is a part of the Dales I doubt many people ever get to. As we're heading across to Arncliffe, the only company I've got is the sheep, and even they don't seem to be too bothered about me up here. So I can see another valley ahead, which I think is the one that Arncliffe sits in, if I remember rightly. I visited Arncliffe on my way through on a Pennine journey a couple of years ago, and it is remote. The road from Arncliffe goes right up to Foxup, which is even further into the Dales. Some amazing places, and I keep saying it, but it's remote. We got an amazing area on our doorstep, and Punk Panther races like to come and take you to those areas, so you perhaps go along paths that you've never gone along before and perhaps never will, and give you the opportunity to see the beautiful Dales in all their glory. A real Dales Dazzler. Another example of why I'm so in love with the Dales. Since I left Malham Tarn car park, I have not seen another person, and it's just so worth coming up here. I much prefer the Dales to the Lake District, because in my mind the Lake District sadly is so full of tourists that sometimes you can't move without seeing lots of people. You come to the Dales and within a few miles you're in places where very few people go, and yet it's still absolutely stunning, and I can't use that word enough. It's so peaceful, so quiet apart from the wind, and that's why I'm so in love with the place. So get yourselves booked onto one of our races and enjoy some of the spectacular scenery and remoteness that a trail race can offer. Got some company out on the hills, and as I look around you can see a massive valley there, and one or two cars on it leading out right deep into the Dales. There's got a few visitors, no actually I'm the visitor, a few guardians of the footpath. I'm sure they'll let me past. Quite a few of them, young ones too. Here we go, look at them all. Come on then, come in through. There you see, no worries. Look at that little beautiful fella, almost looks half cow half sheep. Lovely colourings. Oh, got one more guarding the footpath, but I'm sure he'll let me pass in a minute, won't ya? Eh? Won't ya? There you go. They're normally more scared of us than we are of them. Bye bye. As we approach the little village of Arncliffe, we can see the hill opposite, which we've got to go up and then down into Starbotton and then along to Kettlewell at the checkpoint. We can see a long way down into that valley where the river is just about flowing at the moment. There we go. Some more lovely scenery, and I'll just step back a bit because we've got a double gate to get through. 1, 2, make sure they're both closed, and then we're along this little ridge path and dropping down into the village of Arncliffe below. Probably more of a hamlet than a village. Okay, just like that, in the middle of a drought we get a downpour. It's coming down quite heavy at the moment. I've just had to put some waterproofs on, and but we carry on. That's why you always be prepared. I was tempted not to put anything in today, but you never know. The forecast wasn't actually for rain for this area, but it's come and we'll enjoy it. Finally coming down from on high and into Arncliffe. We've got a little gate here, and you can see we've just come 6.5 miles from Malham, and this will tell you, oh no, footpath only, no motorbikes, no cycling, so no cheating by using a motorbike on this race, I'm afraid. And then we've got a nice little enclosed footpath which should take us down into the little hamlet. Here we are entering Arncliffe at the end of that track that we just joined, and some benches, I suppose, and then we're turning right. There's a nice old car there, just there. Anyway, we're turning right, I think. Let's just check the GPX. Yep, we're going to turn right, go across the road, and shortly we'll be going up that hill and over to Starbotton. Over there, because we don't like roads. We're going down this track. Oh, this is torrential. GoPros are waterproof, Hope the battery changes, because my battery ran out just then, just as it absolutely started really tipping it down, and I think I managed to change it okay, but as always the case fell off. They're not very well designed with that case holder for the battery. Anyway, we've come out of that little short bit and we're going over the river. We're joining a road for just a short period of time. Lovely beautiful river. Hopefully this rain will start to restock them a little bit, depends on how long it lasts, but it has been quite heavy for the last sort of half hour, and yeah, let's just check. I don't think we're going off there, because I think we've got to go straight up. Yeah, we go straight along this road and straight up the top. So Kettlewell's 2 1/3 miles that way, which is where my car is, but unfortunately, well, fortunately, more of a day out for me, because we've got to go over the top to Starbotton first, because that's the way the route. So no cheating and going that way to the checkpoint, because we'll see which way you came into the checkpoint from. And the point is that you won't be doing 50 miles if you went that way. Right, I think got it right. Yeah, we're coming up here. The road bends round to the left towards Lytton, but we keep going straight on. And so I'll just keep the camera on for a moment, just so that we can find where that path is. Yeah, thank you. Right, so not Hawkswick, not Lytton or Halton Gill. Should be a nice footpath. There we go, straight up. So we're just leaving Arncliffe now. There's a DPD van coming up, so I'll just get into the side. Didn't even look, there you go. Well done, Mr. DPD driver. Right, so public footpath linked to Starbotton, bridleway 200 yards. It's not 200 yards to Starbotton. Right, there we go, off we go, and we'll be in Starbotton in no time. So as soon as I start climbing a hill, it stops raining, so I'm just looking behind me at the back of Arncliffe as I go up the hill. Yeah, and the sun started to come out. Typical. Oh, and there's a lovely smell of manure as I go up as well. So beautiful scenery again, and just a nice little hill to climb before we drop down to Starbotton the other side. So we climbed up to join the Starbotton road, and I thought there was a really good signal down in Arncliffe. You can probably see there's a green, neatly blended in transmitter tower, which is a great boost for the mobile signals. So you do get a decent signal while you're in Arncliffe. Turning round, this is the Starbotton road that we're climbing to the top of the hill, and then we descend the other side and down through some woods and into Starbotton. Nearly at the top of this section of the climb. Windy road, good grip. In fact, there's concrete up here. Hasn't been all the way up, but there is now. And there's a gate at the top. I notice as I look back down the valleys where the weather's coming from, we might be in for some more rain. That'll be as I'm going down the other side, no doubt, but we'll see. Up to the top. Now, will it be a full summit? Probably. Still got 4 miles left to Kettlewell, and I know it's 2 from Starbotton, so I think we've got a bit more to do before we get to the top. Of course it was a full summit, but looking back, I'm glad it was. It wasn't so bad a climb after that. We've still got some more climb to go, but nowhere near as steep as that first bit. Yeah, beautiful scenery behind, and promise of some more up ahead as we continue along the path. Just had another little shower, but nothing too serious. and won't be much longer before we descend down to Starbotton. But we're nice and out in the wild again. Oh, hold on, there's a house over there. Well, a house, building, I wonder what that is. Okay, anyway, onwards and upwards. So as we come up this track, I've noticed it goes up to the hut, and that doesn't look right according to my watch. On my watch there's no path going up there, and on OS maps there's no path until you zoom right in and it shows there's a path going up to the hut. And I did wonder, and I wasn't caught out, there's a bit of a track up here, and this is the one that we need to take up here. It's not, so don't go up that track, go up that one as you've come up through that gap in the wall. Yeah, so we still haven't got much longer to go till we get to the top and we can look down to Starbotton. Let's just see what that sign says. Anything of note? Woodland notice, background, nesting birds. There we go. So after all the false summits, I'm hoping this one might be the final one. Well, we'll see. But change of scenery again. Some fantastic heather. I suspect it will be gone by the time the race starts in October, but it's still a great trek up here. I'm afraid my knees have gone for today, so probably be walking most of the rest of it now. But I've done about 16 miles so far, because I had to leave my car in Kettlewell to begin with and go down to Kilnsey and then across to Malham, which was really enjoyable. I've never been that way to Malham, and it brings you out to the gate where we had the finish of our River Air Ultra. So yeah, nice little bit of climb to come, and then that'll probably be the last of the climb for me for today, as we drop down to Starbotton and then along the river, picking up the Dales Way and into Kettlewell. Yay, I think we're finally there. What are we going to be rewarded with views wise? So that's where we've come from. And this is where we're going. Downhill all the way now, all the way to Kettlewell. Can't see it yet in the valley, but we'll be down there soon. There's a big fella, ring through his nose, been looking at me all the way down, and there's somebody else coming towards me as we descend and go and descend through that gap in the wall, through all those lovely, not sure, I think they might be cows. But that one's definitely a bull, and yeah, eh? And this one's coming towards me as well. They're both coming to say hello. Yeah, hiya. You okay? You're a big fella, you, ain't you? Eh? You're a big fella. There we go. Right, I'm off. See you later. Bye bye. And more as we go through the gap in the wall. Hey, yeah. Looking at me. I've got to come past. You gonna let me come past? Eh? It's okay. Yeah, I think they are males. Yeah. And yeah, just having some breakfast, or lunch I should say. Hey, yeah. You're in my way. But I'm not bothered, I'll just come past. Yeah. Oh, there we are. As a matter of interest, for the see, dead easy to go through them all. There's that big fella up on the horizon, and just in case you're ever worried about wearing red, I am wearing red. It's a myth. They're not interested in colours. They're not interested in us at all, really. Not unless you provoke them or run too fast past them and spook them. And as I predicted, as I'm coming down, it started raining. It started raining quite heavily. Over in the distance we can see Kettlewell, and if I spin round, that's Starbotton, which we've got to go to next. And then we track along, you can't quite see it, but the river wharf is down in the middle of this valley, and we track along that from Starbotton to Kettlewell on the Dales Way. So I don't know much you can see of this because it's raining quite hard now, but I've just come through that gate, and just below us is in fact the river wharf and the road running parallel to it. So we'll be down there in a few minutes and following that along to the checkpoint. Just descending down through some woods towards Starbotton. A little bit treacherous because it's absolutely bucketing down now. First rain for a long time, and of course I'm going downhill and wrecking. What more can you expect? Sun going uphill and absolutely torrential going downhill. I love it. Right, carry on. Rain's just starting to ease a little bit. Still raining normal though, but just not torrential as we approach Starbotton. We don't actually go into Starbotton. There's a sign in front of us for the Fox and Hounds, open Wednesday to Sunday, and there's a bridge across, and there's a little footpath up to the village. But we are now joining the Dales Way, and we're taking the public footpath to Kettlewell. We've come from Arncliffe, there's Starbotton, and Buckton's up the other side. But yeah, we're off to Kettlewell, 2 miles, and then we'll be at the checkpoint. The Dales Way, if you've never done it, is a fantastic walk. I've done it a couple of times, but I've only done it from Windermere to Ilkley. I think the sort of normal way is to do it the other way, but it's just as good either way. And it's well signposted, so you can just follow these now. Just show you. There's the Dales Way sign, and you can follow them all the way to Barden Bridge. There's just a little section just after the checkpoint at Kettlewell where I take you off of the Dales Way for a short section. It saves you about a mile, and it saves you going through Kettlewell. If you go through Kettlewell, the challenge there is that I think there's a sign missing, and when I've done it, I've always just missed going up onto the top. So best thing is not to take you that way, and it's just as good the way I've taken you. You can see where we've come down from, that diagonal path there, out of those woods up there, from over the top, and of course the sun's come out. So just under 2 miles left now, and there's another Dales Way sign ahead, so you can see very well waymarked, and you'll have no trouble between here and Barden Bridge, where you then turn off and you go over to Emsey and then finally to Skipton. I'll be recceing that route on Sunday, and so we'll be posting another video shortly after that. Okie dokie. On the way to Kettlewell, we follow the river wharf, and it's a beautiful little walk along the banks of the river wharf as it meanders through the valley over little bridges. Just more beauty on the Dales. Awesome views, really beautiful part of the Dales. This bit can be a bit more popular because you're on the Dales Way, but like I say, it's one of the most beautiful places around, and you get this wall to wall, as it were, during the Dales Dazzler. Okay, so we're approaching Kettlewell, and we've got the river wharf to our left, and it's about to bend round to the right, and we're about to go join it. There's a car park straight ahead, which I'll show you how to get into in a minute. In that car park there are some public toilets. That's not the car park we're going to be using for the checkpoint, because it's not quite on the course, but if you do need to go, you can come up to this car park and relieve yourselves. So just about to go through this gate and go alongside the river wharf for a moment just before we get to the checkpoint. That's the gate we're going through. Watch out for these roots while holding this camera. Here we go. Through here. Oops, there's a swimming costume there. I hope nobody's skinny dipping. Right, and round here. So that's the car park, you can see, and if you see the yellow car, that's Bev's car. I'll be going to that in a minute, but that is the car park that at the far end, which you can't quite see over to the left, there are some toilets, and the entrance is round the other side. I used them this morning and I tried to get in through the locked door until I realised that you have to go right round to the other side from the car park, so don't be fooled by that. Right, going to carry on along here for a little bit, and then we're going to go cross the bridge to the checkpoint. Just a quick shot of the bridge from here. Lovely bridge. As we come around here, and you can see we've just come up the Dales Way and we're carrying on the Dales Way. Come along to the end of this track, we have to turn left and we have to join the road for a very, very short section, and then we turn off right to the checkpoint. Nearly there. Looking down on the wharf again, and you can see that car park through there. Looks like somebody had a little bit of a faux pas with the bridge there. That's a shame. Get rebuilt soon. So as we cross the bridge, you can see that sign there saying car park to the right. That's where the checkpoint will be, down in that car park, and that's the way you're going to go through the car park and out the other side, and then you go along there for a short way, and then you rejoin a road and turn right, and that road you rejoin is on the Dales Way. But the actual Dales Way itself goes through Kettlewell village, but like I say, we're not going to do that because it'll take an extra half a mile to a mile onto your route, and you can just go along by the riverside through that car park there. And that concludes today's recce.